All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to journey through one of the most powerful and, honestly, beloved chapters of the Quran, Surah Yasin. We're going to unpack its core themes, its powerful arguments, and really get to the bottom of why it holds such a special place in the hearts of so many.
And speaking of hearts, that's the first thing you need to know. This chapter has an incredible title. It's often called Qalb al-Quran, which means the heart of the Quran. And, that's not just a nice poetic label. It really speaks to how its themes, we're talking life, death, resurrection, and the signs of God, literally pulse through the very core of the Islamic faith.
So, the surah kicks off with this incredibly clear sense of purpose. This isn't just a random collection of verses, it's a direct message, it's a warning, and it's aimed at a very specific spiritual condition. So the big question is, who is this message actually for?
And boom, right there, we get the central problem. The message is sent to awaken a people who are described as heedless. Why? Because guidance hadn't really reached their ancestors in the same way. This state of spiritual unawareness, it really sets the stage for everything that's about to unfold.
Now, the Arabic term used here is ghaflun, and this is a really crucial concept to grasp. It's not just about not knowing something. It's a much deeper state of being spiritually asleep, you could say. It's about being forgetful of your purpose and totally oblivious to the signs that are pointing to a much bigger reality. It's like a kind of spiritual blindness.
And the way the Quran describes the consequence of this heedlessness, wow, it's intense. It uses this incredibly vivid metaphor. Imagine shackles around your neck, reaching right up to your chin. It forces your head up, so you can't look around, you can't look down at the path, you can't see the truth that's right there. It's just a powerful image of how pride and stubbornness can literally block you from seeing what's real.
Okay, so to make this idea of heedlessness less abstract and more real, the surah gives us a story, a historical parable. Think of it like a case study of what happens when a whole community is confronted with the truth and just decides to reject it. It's a deep dive into the psychology of denial.
And this story unfolds in this really clear, dramatic way. First, messengers show up with a message. But the people, they immediately dismiss them, saying, "You're just humans like us." They're blinded by their own arrogance. Then, a single man, a believer, comes running from the other side of town, begging his people to listen, to just think for a second. And for speaking out against the crowd, he's killed and is immediately granted paradise. As for the town that refused to listen, it's wiped out by a single, final blast. It's a chilling lesson on the consequences of that collective denial.
All right, so after that intense human drama, the surah does something amazing. It zooms way out, shifting the lens from one small town to the entire universe. And the argument it makes is profound. You don't have to wait for a messenger to show up. The signs of God are literally all around you, every single day.
And look at the examples it gives. These aren't just random science facts. The surah calls them ayat, or signs. Think about it. Bringing dead, barren earth back to life to grow food. The perfect, predictable cycle of night and day. The sun and the moon, each swimming in its own precise orbit. Even the ships that carry us across the ocean. These are presented as daily miracles, absolute proof of a careful, merciful creator, there for anyone who just stops for a moment to think about it.
Now all of this, the history, the parable, the signs in nature, it's all building up to a crescendo. It's leading to the ultimate confrontation over the ultimate reality, the Day of Judgment. After laying out all this evidence, the surah turns and addresses the doubters head-on.
And this is it, isn't it? The classic challenge from the skeptics. It's part taunt, part demand. They're saying, okay, if this day of reckoning you keep talking about is so real, prove it. Give us a date. When is it going to happen?
But the answer they get is just chilling. They're looking for a sign, for some gradual process. But the surah says that's not how it works. It'll come all at once. A single mighty blast. There's no time for negotiation, no time for last-minute apologies or goodbyes. It's just sudden, final, and absolute.
And on that day, humanity is split into two completely different realities. On one side, you have the companions of paradise. They're described as being joyfully busy, at peace, resting in the shade, and they receive the ultimate greeting, salam, peace, directly from God. And the other side? The guilty are told to stand apart. And then something incredible happens. Their own bodies become witnesses against them. Their mouths are sealed shut, but their hands begin to speak, and their feet testify to everything they did.
This brings us to the final argument, and maybe the most profound one in the whole chapter. It takes on the core intellectual objection that skeptics have always had about the idea of an afterlife.
And here it is, the ultimate materialist argument. Someone picks up a decayed, crumbling bone and asks the question that seems to stump everything. Who could possibly bring this back to life? I mean, it seems to violate every law of nature we know. It sounds like a logical, scientific checkmate.
The rebuttal, though, is just beautifully simple and completely logical. The answer is, the same one who created you from nothing the very first time will do it again. The point is, the first creation, making something out of nothing, is the far greater miracle. Bringing it back again? Well, for an all-knowing creator, that's the easy part.
And this verse just reveals the nature of divine power. For God, creation isn't some difficult, laborious task. It's not about mechanics or physics or effort. It's purely a matter of will. His command is simply kun, be, and it is. It's a power that's absolute, instantaneous, and totally beyond our human understanding of how things get done.
And so, the Surah wraps up with this final, sweeping declaration that brings everything together. Glory to the one who holds total control, total sovereignty, over everything that exists. It's both a statement of ultimate truth and a final personal reminder of where our own journey ends. To Him, every single one of us will return. And that really leaves us with a profound question to think about. Knowing this, how does it shape the way we choose to live our lives right now?